Hey there guys, we are here at Continuous Flow HQ and I just wanted to do a quick video on just some goal setting for BJJ. Given that it's the start of the year, a lot of people will be setting goals, and there's a technique I learned when I used to work in a corporate environment called the SMART method for setting goals. So it's a good way to do it, and then there's an additional thing I think is important for goal setting in jiu-jitsu that I'll add on to the end. So the SMART, obviously S-M-A-R-T, means that the goals need to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So what does that mean? So specific means that you've got to have an actual numbers in terms of what the goal is. So you don't want to say something like, I want to train more in 2024. That's not really good enough. You've got to set yourself a goal. So, for example, last year I set myself the goal of I wanted to make sure I got to at least 150 lessons, which I did. So this year I'm upping it to 175 lessons over the course of the 12 months, which is 3 to 4 a week. It's got to be a measurable goal, like we said. So you've got to be able to keep track of it. So what I do is I keep a diary. I write down what I do in each lesson, and I write down what number of the lessons I'm up to. So for example, today I will be going to my 4th lesson for the year. Don't not track it, and don't set yourself something that you can't measure either. Is it attainable? So is it attainable for me to get to 4 lessons a week? Well, some weeks it is, some weeks it isn't, and that's why we're kind of set at 175 this year, so just below 200, which would be 400. Which would be 4, per week. Is it realistic to get to that? Another example of that is, if you started training in November and it's now January and your goal is to be a black belt by the end of the year, that's not realistic, bro. So you've got to make sure that the goal that you are setting is something that can be achieved. And then time bound, I'm always careful to give myself enough time to achieve it. So like I said, I want to get 175 lessons in this year. I think if you set your time too short, then things can get in the way. Like if I said I want to train 4 times every week. Some weeks I'm not going to be able to do that just because life gets in the way, or I might get injured or something like that. So the time frame has to be long enough. It also doesn't want to be too long either. It's good to have long-term goals, but for this methodology, you don't want it to be too far out. So, the situation we talked about earlier, if you started training in November and it's now January, you could say, I want to be a black belt in 10 years' time. That's a great goal to set, but it doesn't really fall into this sort of category. This is for short-term goals, about a year or less. And then the final thing I think that is important for jiu-jitsu goals is make sure that it's controllable for you. So like I said, if your goal is to get your next belt this year, that's really outside of your control. Your coach, you can do a lot of things that will help you get there, but it's really up to your coach whether he or she thinks that you have achieved enough to get that next belt. So that's why I set my goals as things that I can really control. So can I get to 3 to 4 lessons a week? Yes, I can. Can I make sure I'm doing my S&C? Yes, I can. Can I make sure I'm eating right? Yes, I can. Can I make sure I get the next belt this year? No, I can't, because that's up to my coach. So yeah, hope that helps with you guys. Feel free to comment below. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that stuff that the YouTube algorithm likes, and hope to see you on the mats one day. Peace.